Recording in progress.
Andy's
This
very.
is, it's a terrible time that this is one of the highlights of my week, eh? Although, I just came back from Ziggy's, second time this year. And, you know, within the confines of our group, we may or may not know the weight range around which I hover. And I haven't had Ziggy's, like I said, more than one other time this year. And I said to my wife, how the fuck didn't I get like 150 kilos eating this once to twice a day regularly? Because he was down the road from the old gym. So I went there, got a burger, didn't go over the top, got their truffle fries, and then Moshe, because he's just a feeder, they've now got apple and chocolate pies with caramel dipping sauce.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's all right, man. You're doing a lot of PTs at the moment, so probably fucking counteract.
Yeah.
His left arm's gassed from all that check hook work.
Yeah.
The client is doing the work. Hey, did we get a set of agility ladders down to Kieran?
I saw Andy's name on the parcel and I threw it straight in the hopper. I didn't even open it.
I got some fancy headphones from Andy the other day to address the Sensei Sainaji.
Nice. There you go.
So how are we all doing? You're back on Monday.
Oh,
Kieran,
man.
you're back on in 3 weeks.
Yeah, fucking so pumped. I've actually been busy. At first, I wasn't sure whether I could be fucked doing that unemployed life, but once you get going, man, it's mad. I can't fucking wait. Monday is going to be crazy. I think you just forget about how much work goes into the gym and setting it all up, and then when you have to do it all again, it's almost like a brand new beast. So can't fucking wait, man. And the restrictions are pretty loose, to be honest. Like 20 people per class. It's not a big drama for us. So spread it all out and then off we go.
Yeah, it's funny. This morning I had my first outdoor group session at 6 a.m. So I had to come by the gym and grab some pads and stuff. And I got here at 5:45 and I was like, oh man, this is so early. I felt like I got here middle of the night, and I realized during normal operating hours, I have a 5:30 a.m. class every weekday, and I'm here at 5:15. I'm like, this is going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, well, we operate till pretty late usually, man. Like our last class finishes at 9, so I'm starting to fall asleep by 9:30 at the moment. I'm going to have to really push myself to stay awake.
Last night, I think, was the first time in a long time that I've been awake past 8:45. So I can't even imagine that. But that's normal. We've got kids and early starts. Everybody goes to bed early.
What's what I mean, I know what like normal psi is like, which to most people is probably like most people I don't think can handle it. What's 5:30 a.m. psi like? What's
Brilliant.
5 a.m. opening?
Brilliant.
WSG? What's he like?
Brilliant.
That's your peak. That's when you're operating at your.
I used to do my first PT job at MSAC when I was out of uni. Our first clients was at 6 a.m. and I used to be all the time super hyper. Like I've calmed down so much, it's ridiculous. And I'd show up and I'd be in that office at 5:45, running around and shadow boxing and singing and rocking the chairs and stuff. And all the other trainers just wanted me to shut the fuck up. So
what did you say? NSAC?
MSAC, Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre.
Oh,
absolutely.
The gymnasium.
Jeez, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
1999. While I'm here, I just thought I'd do a quick shout out. I've got the Lumpun theme on and my Lumpun Warriors shirt on. Shout out because we're the biggest Muay Thai podcast in the world. Shout out to all our fans out in Lumpun. They're going through a tough time. See those trees in the background with the flooding? A whole lot of them have fallen down and crushed a whole heap of houses and shit, and they don't have any.
Where did you read that, Andrew? Was it in the news or were you there?
Lame stream media,
yeah.
Facebook.
They're not
Reddit too.
They're not real trees, Andrew.
Oh, fuck. And the emergency services couldn't get there because they're treating COVID.
Because they don't exist. They're not real.
Okay, so big shout out to our Lumpun fans.
I can't do this.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew, if you're not going to realize they're not real trees, and emergency services aren't active, I'm not going to have these conversations with you. I've had a rough enough couple of days listening to apparently the lovely rumors circulating amongst some groups of the Muay Thai community about something apparently I said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So I just want to make sure we're not spreading any more of your fake news.
All right. So my fake news is that nothing I do isn't made up by me or enforced by me. It's by our overlords, which hopefully will be soon China, but at the moment it's the New South Wales government.
So apparently the other week when we were talking about vaccines and vaccine mandates and requirements and the such, apparently I said that me on my own would not allow any people to fight on rebellion anymore unless they were double vaccinated. It was something I was going to put in myself. And the word on the street is I should change the name of rebellion to compliance.
Well, so clever. God,
I know.
It's
astounding that there would have been a misunderstanding from such a fine team of research scientists and analytical thinkers. But
if you're going to put it in if you don't have to.
We're just following the.
If you're going to put it in if you don't have to, man. Like I'm not choosing to do that.
Andrew,
shit.
Hey.
I couldn't be fucked.
You're not being fair, Andrew.
Sorry.
I noticed that I was the only shithead who hasn't been doing shows during lockdown because I was complying. Everybody else just said, we're just going to do it. And they did it, remember? And everyone's just been doing whatever they do. And they've been flying interstate and flying to Thailand because they're not complying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Thailand last week. Went to photo.
Nice. You're actually there at the moment.
Sorry.
You're actually there.
It's like World's Dumbest Criminals. Like, remember that show? You post about breaching and post about doing stuff you're not supposed to do, then you should just keep it on the down low.
How good's the internet, eh? Wonderful place.
The internet's beautiful.
And
hey, who remembers David Icke? Remember he was popular a year ago?
Oh, yeah. What happened to him?
He got censored.
What happened to him? Yeah, right.
Well, he was on London Real, and then the guy created
Alex Jones. Alex Jones disappeared as well too. What happened to
he
him?
just lost the court case.
He was. I loved you with Alex Jones, man.
I love. But
whatever side of the fence you're on.
Who are these?
There's no side of the fence. Anyway, so Sunday morning, our time. Viva la France, Jimmy Benoit.
Yes, sir.
Versus our boy. My boy.
Let's clear one thing up. Was it 72 kilos as per Siam Fight News, or was it 70 kilos?
There's been a whole heap of I've heard different stuff on a lot of different posts.
They removed that post. Jimmy said it was 70.
Yeah, and then Yodbicha people said he was heavier at 72 and a half, I think. I've heard a bunch of different stuff.
The old, this is what the title's at, but we're going to agree to weigh in at this. That old chestnut, maybe a little secret.
Kieran, you don't want to bring that up, mate. That opens up a whole lot of.
I just said maybe, man. I didn't bring it up.
What happened?
Anyway,
oh, sorry, go.
It was a
very crushing relationship, Si.
Where's Riddler? He's not back this week. It was a French show. I'm assuming it was in France. Someone said it was in Belgium, but it was.
They chose to put elbow pads on.
They had elbow pads on, so it was a mixture of kickboxing and Muay Thai. And I think there was more kickboxing fights than Muay Thai fights. Yeah, Kieran, did you watch much of it?
Man, I kept turning it on and off, but every time I went on, that was when I messaged you and thought, oh, did they get rid of the elbow? Like, did they change the rule? Because I just naturally assumed it was all Thai boxing. But then I think when you said to me, no, it wasn't. And I had a bit of a skip through, like when I was trying to find the Yobichar fight the other day, but I think it was just Muay Thai. Just mainly kickboxing. Sorry.
I think there was 2 Muay Thai fights and a lot of kickboxing fights, kickboxing in K1. But God, it was a live free stream, and for whatever we want to say about title belts, it was one of the 2 major title belts, world title. It was a live free stream,
and a worthy one.
Know that Jimmy Benoit is one of the top foreign fighters. Yodvicha is Yodvicha. And it was on Facebook Live, like I said. And I think at its peak, it had 869 viewers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sad, man.
That's shit, eh?
Yeah. And that's, like,
You had more for the last routes, didn't you?
yeah.
Imagine what it cost to put that shit on.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like big venue and tables and all that, the production and stuff. But yeah, like you kind of go, it puts things, I think we all have a pretty good sense, a realistic sense of where we're at. But to have a world title between two decent guys, it wasn't like a backyard world title. It was a WMC title, which is, again, out of the WBC, WMC, the two titles people won outside of stadiums, 869 people tuning in to watch it. Even for our time, it was, I think it was like the main event was 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So it wasn't like at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's scary. So, I mean, part of it, obviously, it was quite hard to find the link. Like one of Don's old French boys who's moved back home, when I posted on Facebook, he gave me the link, but there was no real advertising of it. You couldn't see it on the poster. I mean, Yodvicha and stuff were sharing the stuff, but there was no links or anything. But you just go, yeah, man, like what other sport would have that? It's kind of sad.
Yeah, but no, man, like people talk about us being able to do certain things versus not, and challenging stuff. And it's like, well, if you can only pull that amount of people to do that, like, are you really relevant? It's a tough pill to swallow, man. Like, you can have a local fucking boxing match on here and you're going to pull, a few thousand. And maybe it's a promotion to blame, probably. Like France, man, like, fuck. They got a lot of followers, you'd think. But I don't know. Maybe people just don't like elbow pads, or just like what we eat. I messaged the page. They didn't reply. But then again, you probably do that, so. But yeah, I don't know. Couldn't find out anyway. But fuck, it was a worthy fight. Man, how about the decision? And like, yeah, like Kieran, I know you're going to have a crack at it, but I agree with a lot of the stuff you've posted about the way that it was judged and stuff. The referee was pretty fucking ordinary. That's just being honest. Like, it's good on him for letting the clinch go on, but
there's a point.
Slingshotting the ropes and not like, he's literally like, a stab knee, pulled the bloke's head down, left it there to accentuate the fucking knee, bent him over, holding him there, waiting for the ref to come.
Yeah,
Keep going, boys. Like, where are we going to go from here?
There was so much points of just like mutual inactivity from what would happen. And that it was like, they're just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Get restarted, and he would just wait. And then again, like the slingshot, I mean, God, I remember the last time I had to tell a referee off when I was a WMC rep here, would have been even in Australia, was 6-7 years ago. I went on, I was like, hey, we don't do that anymore. That's it. And to see him doing it, and like, I don't know if it actually ended up playing in Jimmy's favor, where it was just, there was these like little bits where it was like, not much is really happening. Whereas if you just went in those main rounds where Yodvicha was like scoring a little bigger in the clinch, it was done, that's the point when it should be broken up. Maybe it would have accentuated what Yodvicha was doing even more. I just found bits where, like, there was, Kieran, you go, but there was just rounds where I'm like, how do you give this to, because one judge gave it 4-1 to Vienna, yeah?
I think I saw someone, I don't know, I just saw some people say 4-1. I don't know it'd be interesting to see the judges' scorecards, hey, because one gave it to Yodvicha and two gave it to Jimmy. And if you watch that video where Yodvicha and his corner are going off, and the head official, the French head official who's speaking Thai to them, is like, I think you won, or he said something along the lines of like, I think you won, or something like that. And it was kind of like, oh, that's not good when he's in there saying it. But it looked like he was the head official because they were complaining to him. It's almost like
I think he said two judges gave it to Jimmy, and then one gave it to Yodvicha, and Yodvicha's corner was saying, like, even if we drew the first 2 rounds, we won 3 and 4. We didn't have to do anything in the 5th. How does it mathematically work out? So you tell us, Kieran, what did you have, man? Like,
Man,
I know you did a breakdown.
Jimmy wins round 1. Jovic just like comes out, has a look, typical, right? First round, but it's still, he knows like they're going to score it regardless, right?
Yeah, he got Jimmy's big times. He got dumped on his ass. He felt, he got swept off when he was kicking for sure.
Jimmy's got like that left kick was quick. Like Jovic couldn't read it yet. I think there was some moments they entered the clinch. He looked a bit awkward with the elbow pads, whatever. Same, like, so Jimmy wins that first round. Second one, it's a draw because you can see, I mean, you could maybe tip it to Jovic, but it's a draw, right? For argument's sake, it was pretty close. Jovic looks some of those moments where he looks a bit awkward with the elbow pads, and they looked massive, those Venom ones. They didn't look like the one that Andy, like you guys use for MTA, or Sai, you might for Muay Thai Victoria. These ones looked huge.
Yeah.
And it really made it look awkward. But there was some of those moments in the clinch when Jovic was getting into better positions and he realized he could break Jimmy's posture, and he realized, like, because you saw it from then on, it was just walk forward, lift the knees, like check any kick coming in, boom, grab. Like big knee, and every time, like 3 and 4 especially, like so clear. Like and Jimmy was just awkwardly rushing, and if you counted it on volume alone, sure, Jimmy did more, but man, he was it was like like not a lot in it. Occasionally he had a nice long left knee, which I think he did to enter the clinch, or the same when Jovic came in, but it was like there was nothing. And when Jovic did knee, boom, break the posture. Boom, break the posture. You're right about the referee, though. I found like not only was he standing in awkward positions, even if you go back and watch when he was breaking the clinch, strange the way he's like reaching over and he's like far away. And it was real awkward. And then the 5th round, I mean, I put this on my story. I don't like dancing it out outside of Thailand. I'm not really a fan because I think judges aren't infallible, and sometimes even if you know that you've won, this is a perfect example, right? This is a perfect example. It's like if you're in that foreign, like especially for him, and you've got the gas tank, just put a statement on it.
Yep.
And you kicked Jimmy's back a few times, wasn't that strong, whatever, but still, I just don't know how Jimmy won. I don't understand how they gave it to him. It's just it's sad.
I was chatting to Aram, not writing, because chatting would be difficult. But that when he came out in the 5th round and just went and sat back, I was like, oh, dude, you're in the dude's country,
yeah,
musician's country. Like, it's just so risky to do that. Especially when the judges aren't looking for that, the audience isn't looking for that, and
audience was booing, right? The judges, the French judges are going to hear that,
and Jimmy wasn't really playing into that, so it was like that. That was just like, I thought. I mean, obviously, if a judge has already got it 3 rounds to 1, it wasn't going to make a difference unless he stopped him. But it's like so risky. I didn't see the logic behind doing that. It was like almost like someone hadn't said, hey, it's not how it works here.
I think it's a really good I want to say coaching fight. I think it's a really good fight to show people, to show the whole like work rate versus effectiveness, to have that conversation, because Jimmy was always coming forward and he was always doing something, but the quality of it when compared to what Jovic was doing was nowhere near. And for some, I can see how, especially if you're like a casual fan of the sport, the same way you interpret rules in other sports sometimes, and you see it, and especially if you don't know Thai boxing, you go, oh, that guy did more. He won. Like, I can understand how the uneducated might, or people who are starting out. And I think it's good to have that discussion. I think it's really disappointing when like fight trainers and gym owners are like, oh yeah, Jimmy won. No problem. Jimmy won 4 rounds to 1. I'm like,
did you ever watch Lloyd Dean versus Jordan Gottfredson from Epic 4 years ago?
Fight, man. I remember there was a lot of talk about it around the quality of the knees and stuff, was it?
Yeah. So that was a little bit different. Like there was definitely, I think, up to round 3, like Jordan looked middle of round 3, looked just dominant, like dominant. And then Lloyd came in and Lloyd did what he does, which is kind of like just wet blanketed him. And there was so much knees. And there was that conversation of, well, Jordan's landing 3 big knees and Lloyd's just pulling him down and doing a million knees. But I feel like the difference in that was Lloyd was coming and he was going after him doing that. He was the one aggressively trying to do that. Whereas with that fight, I felt like Jovic was the one that's walking in, trying to knee him, and Jimmy's knees, like, it wasn't like it's what he wanted to do. He was just kind of doing those to survive. So I think when you're in that situation, it was like, for me, those 3 or 4 was definitely, you couldn't say Jovic lost them. But then round 5, it's just, I think it's so risky to do that because round 1 was Jimmy and round 2 was draw possibly Jovic, but you're in France. Like it takes 2 guys to go, no.
What?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Thanks,
sorry. Man, come on.
Man, stop with
French.
the international
Come on,
languages.
bro.
Man.
Yeah,
Call me. Fucking live in
Polyglot
Australia,
over
man. Speak English.
You've had turns. 3 weeks ago, you did Thai, then he did Japanese, and now I did no in French. So,
Oh, wow.
We'll be doing
being sarcastic, people. Sorry, again. I'll spell it out to you. I was being sarcastic there. I don't care what language you speak. Don't take my words as fucking gospel.
You're
all right?
you're dividing the unity, Andrew. I won't tolerate it. You know the include. I'm disappointed, Andrew.
I thought my sense of humor was bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's disappointing. The interpretation of the clinch is disappointing. Like the interpretation of power and posture. I think people a lot of the time underestimate posture too. Just go back and watch Jimmy's frame, watch his body and how Jovic manipulates him like through his knees and through some of the clinch work, and just a real misinterpretation.
Yeah, well, the other fight which I picked, so I picked Jimmy. Thanks, guys. The second one which I picked was Kula Bum and Sexton, right?
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Fucking gotta watch it, man. It was
Didn't you think Sexton was going to get it? Weren't you going to give Sexton a Hail Mary? I thought you were giving him a.
Watch it back. Watch it back.
All right.
Yeah.
I did it.
But, man, so many fans around the world watch this. You would have thought you would anyway. Yeah. Sick fight. Go back and watch it.
That was
Hectic. Was everything was supposed to be. Sexton came out in the last, was just going for it, do it, fucking, you name it, spinning backflips. It was sick. It was like, it was bad, man. It was so good. So
that was cool. You know when when it's the 4th round and a Thai does a spinning elbow, like man, they're just ready. They're just going.
He was doing axe kicks and shit. He was like the hard part or weird part is obviously that there was like zero. It was in a car park, basically. You could see out the back for the Channel 7 shows. So, but yeah, the fights before it were all right. But that was sick. Turned on just for that. And the final. Muaythai, our rugby league. Fuck, you guys are hopeless. Oh my God.
Hey, what happened to Muaythai? Has he retired?
Took a big break. He got pumped a few times, and then, they put a post up on PK page the other day. I think it's the second time they've done it that they're trying to bring him back. But I think he's out in the boonies selling food, like half of the top level guys these days. Food Panda, big shout out to Food Panda, one of our sponsors. And grab. Holler at us. I don't know if my platinum grab is still there, but I'll log back in after 3 years and see how my points are going. Man.
Sorry. Carry on.
No, it's fine. It's just talk amongst yourselves.
How's your Uber Eats tally going, man?
Man, we pulled right back. We're down to like once a week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
They must be spewing. The drivers be fucking having a strike out the front of your house. Yeah.
That's like Peter Sherwood just posted on my Instagram. I put up that I went to to Ziggy's. He goes, credit to them surviving the last 2 years without your daily.
Yes.
Well done.
It was like the golden touch at Carlisle Street was, you have a new establishment here. You get to sign out your tick of approval. It's like the reverse of the Heart Foundation. Definitely not good for your heart. Is there anything coming up internationally this weekend?
Well, I think
Kieran, who won the best only the wrong caption on your gym Instagram? We did a few captions.
Yeah.
Is there a winner to that? Me or
I'll give it to Adam King, I think. I'll give it to Adam King. Most of the best captions and responses came in DMs and private messages. So I appreciate people not absolutely flooding my business's Facebook page with appreciate it.
Anybody wants
Shout out to you especially, Si. I thought you were particularly reserved on that. Thank you. Thank you for keeping that in the messages between us and not letting loose, bro. So like shout out to you. I thought
I just got to quickly jump on my Instagram stories and delete something completely unrelated to this.
Great restriction. But Yotin is back this weekend, is he not? I believe on Saturday.
Yes, and his upper
Yotin,
weight
124 to 127 pounds.
There's a lion fight on too, eh? I don't know whether
that this weekend with Jakub and God, we do like no prep for this, do we?
Selena. I'm just looking at a poster, man, on Siam Fight News.
Channel 7 again is back. Got some more Tiger Cement tourney, Group B, Tiger Cement tournament this weekend. That's back.
Nat Morgan versus Selena Flores. That'll be a cool fight for the chicks in America.
There is a lion fight this weekend.
What's it called?
There's a Pet Indie show tonight.
No, well, let's talk about that, Andrew, now that you've brought it up. But
Sorry, man.
No, it's good. We should actually talk about it because it's hilarious.
Okay.
So, no, this weekend's lion fight, this one's in Los Angeles. The Thai in the main event, he was in Perth for a while.
Oh, yeah? Jefferson Silva?
No. Lion fight world featherweight title.
Oh, Dexakda. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. There was another Dexakda, Sitsong Pinong. He used to.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure that's him, man.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Old mate's going to have a hard night.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Jakub is fighting Joe
Bubia.
Really?
Yeah. You know where he's fighting him?
Windsor.
Lion fight, cross promotion. Man, people come up with the best names. We can't come up with anything clever. Rebellion Fight Promotions.
I love Rebellion Fight.
Started in 2019. Just
Rebellion Fight
the
Promotion.
Muay Thai promotion called Rebellion. What an original name.
Yeah.
Started in Scotland. Would not have heard ever of Rebellion.
They're amateur
George
development.
Mann, Jordan Cove. None of those guys.
I don't know, man. I think it's a pretty cool name, to be honest.
It's
regardless of where you are.
I think they're going to do a development series soon too.
Oh, Road 2?
Road to Roots.
Road to Roots.
Sick.
They're going to name every show after a different Damian Marley song. So Marley song.
I like Damian Marley, man.
Yeah.
That track with him and Nas is
But apparently I'm just wanting some attention. Anyway.
All right, cool.
So yeah, Jakub is fighting Joe Boubier, who was here for a long time. Joe's last Muay Thai fight here was against Chris Bradford for the WKBF heavyweight world title. He only had a couple of fights while he was in Australia, so he's obviously, and he was teaching at Absolute MMA, he was the Muay Thai trainer, and then he's moved back home. So I'm friends with Joe, and I really like him, but obviously I also massive fan
October
of
23. That's the next one afterwards.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, man. Well, you're ahead of yourself. We need content for the next couple of weeks, man. G down.
We've got the Grand Prix next weekend to talk about. I'm telling you now, Andrew, even though it's not Muay Thai, we're going to discuss it next week.
Yeah, necessary. The one.
Absolutely necessary.
Muay Thai Grand Prix.
The 8 man. No. We just call it the
One
one
championship, the
We'll
Grand
just
Prix,
call
and
it
one
one
championship, the
championship.
8 man.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
And Petrosian versus Superbond.
I thought you meant the Melbourne fucking Grand Prix. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. Motorbike, MotoGP, mad.
No.
Sorry to all my Melbourne friends,
where
but
you draw the line.
Going back to me working at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, that backs up onto the Albert Park racetrack. And the last year I worked there, literally on the warm-up days on the balcony, I was standing there holding pads. This is like in 2001, and the cars are doing warm-up laps behind me. Like, you know how loud Formula One cars are. I hate Formula One. Like, I was literally standing there coaching a client, like right on the corner. Like, stupidest sport in the world.
Love it.
But I do like Schumacher, and I hope he's well.
Shout out.
As Donald Trump would say, I wish him well.
Yeah, domestically. Are we done with international?
Is there anything on this week?
Domestically,
there is Muay Thai League.
Muay Thai League in Queensland. Nikki and Benji, right?
Yep. So big shout out to those guys who sponsored the last Roots 15 card. It was really lovely to have another Muay Thai promotion sponsor the show. And now the main event of that, since Toron was pulled out, is Natalie Pavlidis versus Nicole Bieni. Why am I so bad with these names? I'm a foreigner. This is my second language. Did you know that? English is my second language.
Well, your first one's pretty shit too, man. So
sorry?
you can both.
I know how to order food. That's the only thing that matters. One kubida, please. Kubida.
Yeah. And then just domestically as well, we now have a return. We've also got, I mean, I know it'll be next week, we'll talk about it, but then Warriors Way, we'll get Rebellion in December. Andy Siam, beautiful to see you back with a poster. Everyone go show that poster some love.
Yeah.
And also ARAM show on the 11th as well.
The which?
ARAMs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the other
yeah. But wait, I got you back on that. Talk about it if you want, man, but fuck.
The viewers don't understand personal.
Anyway, so Muay Thai League this weekend, and they also have the Junior League, which is that mixed up with Siam Cup, the Junior League?
I think they're different this time. I'm gonna have a look.
The last time they did it with Siam Cup, but I'm not sure.
It is Siam Cup Oceania 50th show. So there's the junior show, Little Leagues fight card, and they have 15 fights.
Nice.
Cool.
And then the Muay Thai League main card, which is there's 14 fights on that.
Can I say I really like that concept of the names, man? I reckon that's sick. The Little League, and then
It's cool.
Thought I'd just throw that out there. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Good chat, mate.
Is that what you're going to do with your junior program, more you now? Little you?
Little you?
No, I'm just talking to you. Hey, little you, are you going to do that?
Man.
Fuck off. All right, everyone, we'll see you next week. See you later. Bye. Come on, man.
I can't believe we can't even fucking meet you, man.
We're hosting it next week, man. Give us the button.
Yeah.
Give us the button.
Yeah.
I need was it Red Faces? Remember that?
Red Siren.
The gong.
Bit of hey, it's Saturday style. Oof.
Are you? No, I'm not bringing this up.
Don't.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say, don't. Move on.
It was just Daryl Braithwaite and John Farnham were very regular appearances on Hey, it's Saturday, featuring Red Faces, and now their songs have become national anthems. Anthems, not national anthems, anthems. Voices. You're the voice.
Nice.
Internationally, we don't have anything. So now, guys, we're running out of weight divisions. So sort of active weight divisions. We covered up to 76 kilos last week, which was a super middle weight.
Yep.
And I think we should just do all of the above now.
Yeah. Well, like
Royal Rumble.
oh, that like a Queensland style tough man. Just chuck him in. Just put him in.
Yeah, man.
Big boys. Well,
79.
79. And George, that's his world title, right?
Yeah.
That's at the 79 kickers.
Who else was on the Prince 8-man at the bigger boys?
Jaden.
Well, then he can fight up as well.
We had
Cody Trey.
Cody Trey.
I think he's up there now.
Dado was on that show as well, yeah?
He was, but I think he's a bit small for that. Might be wrong, but yeah, I think he can get down still 76 if he.
And you mentioned Barber would fight 72 and a half,
74, yeah.
74.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then above that, guys, I know this is going to sound weird, but he's only had one Muay Thai fight, but under 100 kilos or around that weight, would anyone be actually able to beat Junior Taffa?
No. Fuck, I've been on the receiving, or my boy's been on the receiving end of that shit. That didn't go well. But yeah, he just, man, like Nugget says as well, like he's just got that thing. Like on paper, if we sat and had a proper Muay Thai, well, not say proper Muay Thai, it was one, but Christian kicks mad, can do the business, like, you know, but just when someone's just got that one punch power or the timing of it, it's fucking pretty crazy, man.
For me, like I've seen him fight live 3 or 4 times and on video a couple of times. And it's like you said, you know, you can say power, like you watch the old Mark Hunt fights where you used to throw those shots and you're like, you can visibly see this is a collision.
Feel it.
Junior, you watch him, it looks like, show us the dim mark. It's like he's doing the death touch. Like I saw him one fight sort of step off to the right and hit this dude with a right hand, and it would have traveled 3 inches, and the guy just looked, and I think that was the first time I'd seen him knock someone out, and the guy looked like someone had just flicked the switch on him. And then I've see him do it a couple of more times, and I see him knock someone, I think, out with a jumping knee once. I'm like, man, that dude, he's going on Dana White's Contender Series, I think, now to try out for the UFC. And I don't know what he's like wrestling and jiu-jitsu is like, but that guy with 4-ounce gloves, just horrific. And if people like remotely want to test their hands against him, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
What weight is the that boy that's out of Rikers in Adelaide?
Brandon.
Brandon.
They're big boys, yeah.
The Balkan boy, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's only had about 9 fights or 12. Like, I don't know. Anyway, he's only just had around the 10 fight mark. But even when you watch him in the 8-man, far out. He's massive, man.
He's 118 or 120 or something, yeah?
Oh, is he that big? Yeah.
Well over 100.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's when we get to talk about the heavyweights with Al and that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in between, sort of like in the you know, like back before we had Stephen Bian and Chris Bradford was more about the 83, 84 kilo mark, and Simon Mayhem and Wade from WA.
Paul Sawinski was there before he moved up.
Yeah.
Carnage was up there before he moved up. They were like, yeah. But like now, man, like I almost feel sorry for trainers and the fighters who give me names for anybody heavier than 80 kegs, man. Like, especially after that first fight, it's like, sorry, it's going to be a tough one. Even higher than 79, man. Like, I don't know. What's it like down in Victoria? Like, I'd struggle to match anyone over 76, to be honest.
No, so we've got, you know, like Big Al, when he came and fought here, he fought Amity like twice, Amity Purcell, who he's only had 3 fights. And, you know, he fought Arita Franklin on the K1 rules at the Prince show, and Arita's a 79 kilo guy, and he wanted to fight, I think, high 80s, and he ended up fighting Big Al in the 90s because there's just such a lack of opponents. And, you know, like, it's just got that, we've got that guy that made the final of the Tough Man, Mini. Mini Nasher, who's like, man, I don't like Mini's lovely dude. He's a warrior. I think he's like 5'6", 5'8" or something.
Yeah.
And like he's iced a few people, and he fought Brandon in the final, and he's a trooper. Like,
Yeah, he
doesn't fight Muay Thai. He fights kickboxing and K1. But yeah, anything over 79, 80, and like from about 80 to 95, it's almost like boxing with light heavyweights and cruiserweights, where it's like, there's some great guys there, but unless they become actual heavyweights, the interest isn't quite there. Like, you got super middleweight is interesting, and then it's just a bit of a dead space. And then these blokes have to actually, it's like, Usyk had to move up to heavyweight for people to really go, oh, wow, this dude's good. But then, in boxing, you got Bivol and those guys who just like, they're amazing, but nobody knows them. And I think that's what happens with Muay Thai here. Like Andy said, guys go, oh, I've got a good 84 kilo guy. I'm like, sweet, I got a good 46 kilo girl. Like, yeah, it's likely to match against each other.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But if Mr. Moira from Shoot Boxing responds, Kieran, a tournament at 100 kilos, and they can get some MMA guys in under Shoot Boxing rules.
It was probably your English, man. I feel like my Japanese was pretty good in that concept.
Yeah. You ordered 2 katsudon and 1 serve of edamame.
I just copy and pasted a Japanese menu across, and you're none the wiser.
Yeah, so the weight divisions, I think that's about it. Like, I can't really, guys, anyone who actually does listen to this and you got this far into it, people who we don't know, send them through Instagram. This is one of us.
Please.
Same
with the girls. Anyone from 63 and a half upwards.
Yeah.
Through, man.
Well, that's, even under 63 and a half kilos, we haven't done that for the girls.
Let's come back to that next week then.
Yeah.
See.
Long term.
Just actually prepare for an episode.
Nice.
Next week, just a heads up, I think if he's not too stressed out, we'll try to get Hammer on to talk about the event.
Cool.
But in the meantime, anyone listening who wants to jump on board and sponsor Warriors Way next Saturday, there's a mix of boxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai fights. So River Daz is boxing in the main event, a 6-round bout against I know his name because Room fought him. Hunter is fighting Hunter from Beast Gym. Hunter's, I think, 10 fights, 8 wins, 2 losses. His last fight was against Jacob, who's an ex-Muay Thai fighter out of, he used to fight out of Lamnamun's gym and Matrix Gym. His dad owns Matrix Boxing in Queensland. And Jacob's legitimately probably the next big sort of star, the Flamingo boxing star in Australia. And Hunter actually dropped him in that fight and then ended up getting stopped. So this is did I say the name right? I don't know how to say names with 2.
I think it's Ioane.
Jacob. Oh, yeah.
No, Hunter Ioane. Oh, Jacob. No, he said, yeah, nice. Sorry.
But it's a big ask for River, who's, I think he's had 1 boxing fight before, but he is, he's obviously a Muay Thai and glory fighter. So it's a big challenge for him. There's a couple of other boxing fights on the undercard. A couple of the guys that fought at the last Root Show, I know they're matched.
Is there a reason for taking the boxing fight? Is that, he's had the fight before and he's really good with his hands. So is it to test the waters, or is this more like
a combination of things? Like Hammer and I have had a couple of ideas around doing something maybe potentially long-term with boxing to give Muay Thai guys opportunities in between to stay active, not for them to just go and fight a boxer and be a punching bag, but give them fights. The guys who like handy with their hands, guys like Ramesh and that sort of stuff. But to be honest, too, was I think part of the thinking was who would you fight when we can't bring Hammer can't bring anyone into Victoria to fight Thai boxing.
Cool.
And yeah, so Like there's no WA option, there's no Sydney option. So the idea was, he wants, and also River wants to box. So that, and also like, I think it's pretty smart idea. Like there, other than Roots, there has been no fight sports. So it gives not just Muay Thai, it gives the guys who, there's gyms here with boxers who were ready to fight, chances to fight some of the K1 guys. So it'll be a good format. And yeah, hopefully, obviously the big challenge, part of what we were talking about earlier was last week it was announced that by the 15th of October, all essential workers, including professional athletes, would have to be vaccinated to compete.
Is that your mandate?
Who said that?
Yeah, I made it because I do these things.
Cool.
Compliance Muay Thai. So, and Hammer's show falls on the 16th, which is the day after.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think one of the challenges has been getting clarification, more clarification. I mean, it's another one of those things where it hammers home how fringe our sport is. It's completely consumes our lives, but for a lot of other people and governments and stuff, we're not that important. They're trying to get more information for Hammer as far as who does the checking, when is it presented, what level has to be done. And obviously then, a few people pushed back, his card sort of came down, and then a few people decided that they would do it. So, so the challenges we've had so far has been amplified somewhat more. And, I count myself really lucky that I didn't have to go through what Hammer's having to go through with this now, because we had a conversation that I did with Combat Sports, and we just wanted to make sure that who ticks the form and checks the form becomes really clear. Because as obviously, again, I'm kind of pretty pissed off about this at the moment. So that's why I keep bringing it up. It's not something that any of us want to be slapped with, because none of us are actually making this decision ourselves. And we don't want to be taking shit from fighters or gym members or whatever else.
Insurance?
Us clowns. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like your insurance and your government license for a fight show and all that just gets completely voided. Like that's obviously some of these people who've got tremendous legal background on social media, they can go and represent themselves. But myself or Hammer or you guys would have to actually hire lawyers and stuff and try to take them to the high court or whatever kangaroo court these guys think you can take it to. So we have to follow the stuff. So that step of it is clear guidelines, and who ticks it and who makes it we need to have, because obviously just as it's mandated that they have to be vaccinated, we couldn't all of a sudden, if that wasn't a rule, say, no, we're not going to take you on if you're not, because then that's also illegal. So as easy as it is just to talk bullshit, like this stuff's actually like you got to do adult things and make adult decisions and not just make random statements.
I think that's important to point out. First of all, Hammer's home. That was a clever pun, so well done. Secondly, it's really important. Like, if you want to take it out on anyone, fine. If you want to vent and rant, just don't do it. Like the promoter, it's not their choice. Their choice is to put the show on, and they have to follow the rules to allow them to put the show on. The same way they have to get you to be blood tested, the same way they have to get you to do a medical. Like it's just another step in that they're being told to do it, otherwise they can't do the show. If you want to vent and go off at someone, if you really feel the need to, like don't discredit the promoter. Don't make them. They're just trying to like push and grow the sport we love. It's not a positive effect if you fucking go off at them and give them shit or do like, it's not their choice. And it's true what Andy pointed out about the legality and the insurance, what you point out as well. Like these are very complex issues. And I would like to see anyone, if you did choose to fight it, who had that deeper pockets, because I don't think you appreciate how heavy legal bills can be as well. Like, it's
good examples, like just a simple thing like in New South Wales, man, around trying to change a hand wrap rule. Sorry, hope we can edit this out.
No.
I've been trying to fight.
Start again. Sorry.
I've been trying to fight the hand wrap rule for
Tom,
5 years.
replay this part slowly.
There we go.
5 years by myself. So imagine trying to change something. Like it's anyway. I think
Is that tape on the knuckles? Is that sorry, tape on the skin?
tape directly to the skin, which isn't legislated, but they still enforce it. And this is the same about this stuff with the whole COVID plan and stuff. It's not our decision, it's their decision, and you can fight it. But in the end, let's just not have shows for 2 years while we fight a legal battle.
And that's honestly like for the show, I know how hard Hammer's working on this, and he wants to make sure this isn't a discussion about his own personal belief on anything, but he wants to do, he's one of the few promoters I know that wants to do the right thing by people. And he's gotten legal advice. Like he has got legal advice and clarification and things. So if it's presented as it is currently presented to him, he has to follow what they tell him to do. The lawyer is an actual lawyer.
Shout out, Hammer.
Same with me, with my gym. I've got 2 lawyers I train. Plus one of my best friends is a lawyer, and I get advice from them on this stuff. So you can put stuff on Instagram and be the new version of a social justice warrior about this stuff. But at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan and someone decides to take legal action, not necessarily government, but someone who attends the gym, I'm not putting my family's future or my business at risk. Number one, I'm not doing that. All the other stuff, all my other beliefs, that's my business. All that other stuff is separate, but I'm not putting myself in that. And with fight shows, I've had so many people in the last year and a half go, we're just going to do it. I haven't seen them do it. And, you know, I think Hammer will get positive support, but anyone who remotely would think in the back of his head, you got to understand what he's doing and what I did 2 weeks ago and what Andy tried to do on the day where his show went into lockdown. We're trying to keep it going how we can, because otherwise it'll just be like nothing. You've seen how many shows have been cancelled on the day of the show. People who are anti-vax and everything, they've had to cancel their shows. These aren't choices we're making. It's like reality now. Like, you know, it's not keyboard law.
It's whole world. It's real world.
Yeah, keyboard science, it's real world. Like I'm not going to do something where I'm not going to run a show without the combat sports book there.
The stakes have gone up now too, man, because you're kind of like unemployed for 3 months, but you're still willing to put on a show. It takes some pretty big fucking kahunas to have a crack at that. And like the stress involved doesn't need to be fucking heightened by people doing that. So, you know, people in the community mad, like have your events and stuff, or do it at the right people. Like that's just my closing statement on that too. It's got the same with the gyms, man. Even why do we even need to say our gyms? This is my other one. Okay. Why do we even need to say our gyms are accepting or not accepting? That's something between you and your members and your people, right? Like I feel like, okay, you want to ask? Sweet, ask and off we go. Like I said the thing about world's dumbest criminals before, it's like, just let your people come. If they're going to come and you're in that demographic, that's cool. Let them know and then off you go. If you're not accepting people, then do it. Like there's no need to like, just do your thing, man. Do you. I just don't understand why people are doing what they're doing.
I put very briefly on our gym one. I've put that we're following the rules. I've got a lot of people in my gym community, a lot more who are vaccinated and everything than not, like in the almost 100 to 1. And I've got people in here who are professionals in various fields that if I didn't do that, they would ask me why I haven't, because they look at it from a different point. And I'm not making a big song and dance about it. I've just put what the thing is. Now, if someone can take it on their own and go financially fight that fight and do it, I'm on a main road. My gym's been around for ages. It's not like I'm hiding behind a back alley somewhere or tucked in a corner upstairs somewhere. People will see it. And I've got my whole livelihood based on this. And it's like, this isn't a forever thing. It's a staggered opening. And if it's going to be another 3 weeks that you do it, if you really feel passionate that the other 99.9% shouldn't train because you can't, it's like no one's saying you have to. Just wait 3 more weeks.
Yeah. Oof, that was fucking big finish, man.
We're not finished yet.
Oh,
Oh, we are finished. This has been an hour. It's been an hour. Do we need a hot topic today? We
we've got
don't.
one.
That was it.
We had one.
We
No,
had
we
one.
had a like a trainer's topic. Well, I
yeah.
forgot about it.
What's that?
Dancing it out in the 5th round outside of Thailand.
That was our hot topic.
Hey,
That
Well-
was our hot topic.
trainer's topic. I feel like the last one should probably be called the hot topic. Whoa.
Ooh. Hey, no, I do have a trainer's question topic.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do this one quick side. I'm going to shoot it back on you, man, because you're the promoter in this group.
And I've done it, and I got mine too. Go on. Sorry.
Dancing it out 5th round.
Me?
Yeah.
I've had it happen twice on my shows.
Mm.
And I saw people write shit on Facebook afterwards, a few people. It happened twice on my show, and I thought it was the right thing. And 2 fighters did it that I love so much. One was Mini T when he fought Super Nong, and he was basically to the point where he was hurting Nong. And in the 5th round, he stepped back and they moved around. And some people started booing. The timekeeper forgot to ring the bell because he was just like, he didn't realize the fight was going. And I thought it was great because we all knew that Super Nong had lost. He underestimated Mini T. Mini T was bigger, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was great. The other time that it happened was Alexi versus Willie Whipple.
Yeah.
And Alexi just started to really take over, I think pretty much middle of the 2nd round to round 4. He was like hurting him. And round 5, Alexi just completely sort of let him finish the fight. And I thought that was great.
The argument there is that should Alexi have gone in for the kill for the fan?
No. If Willie was going crazy,
That's what some of the people who don't like it. I don't particularly like the dancing away either, but when you understand that someone's fucking been bashed for 4 rounds, sometimes it's a nice thing to let the bloke off. But I don't know, like
I think there's two.
think?
Yeah, I think there's
it's not, the guy's not in the fight anymore and he's not making a fight of it. Knocking him out in the 5th round and stopping him when you've clearly won the fight and he's not trying to finish you off. Like I think in Australia, going back and sitting against the rope and just defending the lead and running around and the other guy's coming at you, I'm like, that's risky. But when the other guy's broken and he's not in the fight anymore,
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that makes Thai boxing beautiful. And I was thinking about it the other day, like I watch a lot of MMA and they go like the Brian Ortega fight. I'm like, yeah, great. But after 2 rounds, the chance of him coming back and winning is 1%. The chance of him getting more brain trauma or delaying by 5 or 10 minutes the time he gets to the hospital to get checked up is 99%. So I want to play the odds. Like I know people want to see carnage, but even pro boxing, I watch it and I'm like 12-round fight, like one dude's won every round and maybe a couple of 10-8 rounds. I'm like, man, honestly, I think in boxing, if it gets to like 8 rounds in a row and the bloke's just got clearly 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 10-8, man, it's a dangerous sport. Like I know people
Fall
want
on your sword, man.
like, sorry?
Fall on your sword, man.
I hate that saying. Like Teddy Atlas said it when Big Boy Wilder was like, I want to go out on my shield. He goes, there is no shield. It's a stretcher and you go to ICU.
Yeah.
But this is if one person is being annihilated, like that's where I think the referee should it's outclassed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, and that happens in Thailand, right? Like outclassed is a thing. No, they're being outclassed. Bang, done.
Than here.
Like it's, and yeah, like we even see it here sometimes as well. But that's the point where I'm like, sure, dance it out, fine. But if you have to dance it out because the other guy's been bashed so bad, I think the referee should have stopped and called it due to being outclassed.
Or the corner. Or
the corner. Yeah, absolutely. Corners need to check the ego because you have to appreciate that there's the health of your fighter at risk. But if it's like the other person's not bashed but you've clearly won every round, and then you're choosing to dance it out. It's different.
Yeah.
Like they're two sort of separate.
I've done that, and we recently. I still don't know whether we made a mistake or not. But I would normally not say not dance it out. I'd say like score and do your thing. But when Darren fought 2 on 1774, we were giving up a lot of experience, and 2's a dangerous guy. Darren fought really well, really smart, and we thought it was down to the wire. And that's the first time where I've legitimately said, like, let's not engage here because we've won. Like, we had some exchanges at the start of the round, which I thought clearly won us that. And then we basically just told him to teep and move. And he's one of the few fighters that you can actually tell to do that. Not many people are skillful enough and aware enough to be able to do that, right? Like, people try it and they can't. But he did it. We kind of paid the penalty for it or not. Like, I still think we won that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I agree. Like, it shouldn't be just like tip for tap and then thing. But when you've got a legitimate concern, like for us, it was like, we're going to snatch the win here, so let's just stay away. That was one of the few times I've ever told anyone to do it. Other than that, or bashing someone, I think that would be the only one. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like it's, you sort of have to allow, in my head, I think I got to allow for I guess mistake on the judge's point to some extent, you know, like an extra 10% to be like,
fucking 40.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. We're maybe 2 or 3 clean shots ahead, but maybe it should be 4 or 5. Like just that little bit extra to allow for any form of, because I worry. I've had the same, right, where there's been a close, but I've said to the guys after, that's not the judge's fault. Like you won by 2 shots, but they're not good enough to always separate it like that.
But that's what I thought about 1 or 2 of the rounds, Alexi and River bringing that fight again was, and I think Alexi sometimes has a finer margin of how far ahead he is because he's in there than a judge may see, but also may understand, but also a judge may see. Because like there's times where you go, man, like there's one corner, we've had it happen a couple of times where a lot of the round has been in one corner and maybe 2 judges see it and 1 judge doesn't. And leaving it to 1 or 2 shots, it's ridiculous. It's just you. And that's why when Jovic did that last week, and I was like, man,
that was bad.
Foreign soil. The guy's been kind of still keeping busy. It's just you're giving the decision away.
But also when you've got when you watch, say, like a really high level stadium fight, and you get guys that have a really hectic, maybe like 2 or 2.5 rounds, man, and they dance out the 5th because it's like, I'm ahead. What's the point in taking the damage? We're fighting again in 2 weeks. Like, it's a little bit different to here, I think. Like,
much different, man.
Yeah, and so people see it and they think, we should do that.
Yeah, I don't.
I feel like that mistake.
I agree. That's like, especially for younger, up and comers and people who aren't at like a top level. Fuck.
Or guys that have a 3-round fight, you first start out and they spend the first minute of the first round like just not doing anything. And I say to my guys too, 3 rounds, 2 minutes. If you got 3 2s, that's so quick. You lose one, you have to win the next 2. No. It's not like take fucking a minute.
One of my first fight trainers, we got to the first interclub we went into as our gym at the Old Kaiser. And the interclubs are 2 1.5 minute rounds. And I remember before the match, he goes, go slow, easy. Like, minute and a half.
Go for it.
Go. Back, that's half the round gone. Big fucking.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, boys. Lovely seeing you. It's not true. Good to see you guys. And thanks for the headphones. They've been great.
Awesome.
Update.
I'm getting my final cut tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who donated.
Shit, I haven't donated. What's the link?
I haven't either. Link in bio. Swipe up. You got a swipe up function yet?
I might have finished on the 1st of October, but anyway, see how you go, guys. Thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
Damn it. So guys, check out Muay Thai League this weekend. Good luck to the team. Predictions for the rematch between Nat and Nicole. Anyone? I quietly thought Nat won the last fight again in the clinch part, but
I think it just depends on how the refereeing goes with the clinching, man.
Both super fit girls. Both super fit. I reckon they'll have a good solid crack. And yeah, a referee on the clinch for sure.
Yeah.
If it's Nung, like Nung, who's one of the Thai boys that lives up there, who refereed one of like some of the fights on the last one, I think he'll control the clinch properly and control the fight properly. But
judge it. Yes.
Wait and see.
What week is Muay Thai Grand Prix on? The last weekend of this month? 30th, yeah.
They're just starting to announce the card now. It's looking pretty good.
Is that when Pamon's show on this month as well?
Ooh.
With Jack and Eddie Duva? Is that on this month too?
Yeah.
I think it might be.
I spoke to Pamon. We're going to get him on hopefully in a couple of weeks as well.
Cool. Hammer next week if we can, man.
Yeah, Hammer next week will be good. We're going to get Mr. Nugget on, just make some introductions. And Andrew, we have to get Mr. Carl Draper on here.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I spoke to him on the phone yesterday, messaging him. And I'm
going to have a beer ready for that one.
I'd potentially drink for that. And if you saw the Instagram with me and Hammer, I didn't drink that beer. I'm still like 4 years clean.
I'm scared, by the way.
I was going to ask you about that photo, but yeah.
Yeah, we were at Oasis Bakery. If anybody knows the owners there, if they want to sponsor Sai, Andrew's been to Oasis Bakery, located at 2 convenient locations in Murrumbina and Fairfield in Melbourne. Middle Eastern food, supermarket, and cooking classes.
Breakfast is sick.
The breakfast is sick. The halva section. Let's avoid 100 kilos.
They sell alcohol there?
They sell beer in the food section. So we went and we grabbed a bite to eat to come outside and discuss this upcoming show. And Hammer's like, let's take a photo with the beers. And then all of a sudden I got a couple of messages going, you're drinking again? I'm like, actually, I'm not. If I'd had that full Corona, this podcast would be going and Rebellion would be probably cancelled because I'd be I would have let loose.
Thanks for telling me they sold beers, by the way. But anyway.
We went there at 9:45 a.m.
12 o'clock Sunday.
Last time
somewhere. Yeah, this midday somewhere.
Yeah. I think that's the earliest beer I've ever had. It's been on a flight to WA with Don Miller at 7:15 a.m. on Tiger Airlines, sitting down, and Don's like, we should have a beer. I'm like, excellent.
There's always in the airport. There's always those few guys.
There's no time in airports, man.
The 7 a.m. But
really, the only place I eat McDonald's at is at the airport. It's just like nothing here counts. Nothing here counts. All right, boys.
See ya.
Peace out.
Peace.